Hello everyone, welcome back to NAS Pedia, and today I'm going to introduce the Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0 for a better, secure backup, sync and restore of the data in a better place and keep all the versions for yourself. So to introduce the topic for today, I'll go straight to the slides, and we'll see that today for the Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0, I want to announce that we have with this one we support 22 cloud providers, service providers, and the number will keep increasing also, and it has full support for synchronous multi-version backup. What is interesting with Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0, this time we introduced the QDedupe, Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0 QDedupe, which it means about the data deduplication in block file level. So it supports the source side deduplication, and it has the TCP BBR technology. So another thing that to introduce maybe would be the scheduler with up to 30 schedule settings. And more so about the data duplication technology on QDedupe, which it greatly reduces the backup and restore time, and the advantages would be like bandwidth reduction, saving space, and support multiple cloud service providers, as I mentioned earlier. So to announce, we see an overview of the new Hybrid Backup Sync, the Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0, and see how it has changed the user interface and all the new features with it. So okay, before we go there, just search for, go to App Center and use the search icon here and search for Hybrid Backup Sync. You will have the option to download it and install it here, and it will be ready for access in your QTS, where I will try to run it from here, and you will be greeted by this welcome window, and it will give you information on Hybrid Backup Sync, what is new here, what does it do, which it says the ultimate storage solution for data backup and recovery, and it explains more and more centralized management for local, remote and cloud storage, customized backup, restoration and synchronization. Also with the synchronization we have the two-way sync, one-way sync, and the active sync job. So it is very simple and flexible on job creation, as I will show it in a few steps later, and we will see into more details about that. Also to mention, it has the services as the Time Machine integration with Apple service for the Mac OS users, and local backup servers for RTRR servers and rsync servers, which you have to enable them to be able to use these kind of services. Alright? Okay, yes? So this would be the user interface of the new Hybrid Backup Sync, the Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0, and we see that we have now on the left side here the panel with the overview part, and in the overview button tab you have the job status, storage spaces, alarm log, and you have the opportunity to create a new storage space. Second would be the backup and restore. So this time it's kind of separated. Backup and restore in a smart and simple way. With the blue one you go for backup, and the green one is for restore. So backup, right-handed, send to the backup location, and restore, retrieve the backup or any other data or files that you're interested into the current NAS. Or yeah. So next would be sync, and then you have the synchronize option, collaborate and share data with different NASes or different cloud services. As I mentioned earlier, the number of the cloud service providers supported by Hybrid Backup Sync, it keeps increasing. And also you have the two-way sync job, one-way sync job, and active sync job, which we'll be seeing them later one by one. All right, and then you have the jobs tab where you have my jobs by green here, completed jobs, processing jobs, and those that are put in standby mode, or we see the other ones. All right, incoming jobs, you will have the information on incoming jobs here, so you can navigate through these two around here. And when going back to the left panel, we have the services, the time machine that I mentioned earlier, account settings, and then you can integrate by enabling multi-user support and see the backups here. List of backups using the shared time machine account. All right, account settings and everything you follow by first enabling the shared time machine account. And then you have a display name, username, password, and the volume that you want to use. And the servers, for syncing, you have the rsync server and or RTRR server, depending on which one you want to choose. And then you have to enable it here to be able to access it, especially if you want to have a remote job, either for backup or restore, also for the syncing jobs. And the password, you have to set password based, and then when create the storage space and try to perform the job and the action, then you will be asked to provide the password as set here. You can also see the settings. The port number by default is 8899 here, and the rate limit you can actually set it here, either unlimited or have a maximum of a certain amount of kilobytes per second, and download limit also. And more you have to allow, if you want to allow all connections to use this one, or have kind of extra step security in this regard, having to allow approved connections only by simply clicking here and add IP address for which you want to have the connection with, say for IP version 4 or IP version 6 here. And also you also can set the access privileges on this one, only read or read and write. For now I'm interested to allow all connections, even though I will be using another NAS, but to keep it simple we will perform the tasks this way. Under the Services tab on the left hand, we have the USB one-touch copy, and then with this one I will go into more details after. So you have the configure the behavior of the USB one-touch copy button. I will talk about it more later on. So you have a smart import, USB one-touch copy, and external storage drive, which, yeah. And then the last one would be the storage spaces, and here you have information on the NAS, on the local NAS. The model of the NAS that I'm using is the TS1685. IP address would be this one, and the total space that you have for use, storage pool 1, 2, and the static volume, depending on how you have organized and built the NAS. All right. So you can see also the storage spaces created for remote servers or any other cloud server. So to move on from here, maybe we'll go to the next step and see how to create a storage space, which after will help us to further execute the tasks and the jobs that we want to create. All right. So yeah, so you can create the storage space either from here, clicking directly at this big blue plus button here, click a storage space, or we can go, since we don't have any, we can go directly here from add, and then it will send us here, create a storage space. So for now we are interested to perform a job which we will go with a local NAS. So I will just go to overview, backup and restore, and create a backup now. Okay, so this doesn't really need exactly the create a storage space for the remote. So for the local NAS, we will go ahead, open the create a backup job. So we will see now how to create a backup job and see how to integrate and all the details of this one from one source to another one within the NAS. Okay? So create here backup and restore. Backup now. So we have to create a backup job for that. And then we have all this access from the volume here. And we can see the folders and which we want to use for backup. I already used one, and I want, for example, have samples in multimedia folder or any folder that has more files in it. Alright, so let's see what we have here. Alright, let's say multimedia folder. I want to back it up. I have some information on it, so I'll just provide next step, and then you have the opportunity to select the destination of the storage space, either a local NAS or to a remote NAS. First I'll do the local job, and then you have the cloud servers, and in this case you can choose object-based or file-based cloud service provider. And the other thing interesting on this one, this step, is it would be followed in other steps as well, is source folders. You can view it here and see if you did a mistake or anything, or you want to change your mind, oh, this was not the right folder. You always have the opportunity to see, okay, this is the right path that I want to have the files backed up from. Okay, choose a local NAS and simply click the next tab, which would be moving on to select the folders, the destination folder on the same NAS for backup. So if you forget which one, I can see it was a multimedia one that I'm trying to back up. I can back it up somewhere in downloads and inside this backup one folder, for example. Alright. And then you can leave another name, job name. Let's say multimedia job backup job. And then you can add a description of why you want to have this backup to better remember why it was the purpose of it. Okay? Video streaming purposes. Alright? And then you have the information here from the local NAS to the local NAS, and then it says that there is one folder has been selected, and you have the opportunity before you take any decision to edit it and then go back and change the folder or add an extra one. And as for now, I'll just keep it as it is. And then also for the path, it is the same. You can change the backup destination folder only, right? I'll keep it as it is. And then if you press here, you can also have the access to make the difference if you want to do it on a remote NAS. It was not the first choice for you to do the local NAS, but you accidentally click here. You can always go back and edit before confirming the job. Okay? So yeah, I'll just go back, yeah, and confirm as it is. Okay. Or you can provide the whole thing. So also you have another opportunity to check it here, the source folder. And then when this step is completed, just go next. And then you are the schedule process. So you have to set the scheduling time, repeating schedule, or if you want to have it a one-time job, or if you want to keep it active and so on and so forth, you have the opportunity to do so here. So set the job schedule. For example, up to 30 schedules can be created, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Repeating schedule, and then you can see that you can add a schedule here. It's a one-time schedule, every once in a while, every time starting at say 1, with a wait interval of 4 to 10. The waiting controls how long you've been waiting before the repeating the job. And then you can also set the stopping date. When do you want this to stop happening, the backup versioning and scheduling. All right, so you can also set it daily. You can choose a certain time or specific time every day, and then you can set to stop it after a month, after a week or so. You can also set, all right, you can also set it weekly. You can choose a day of the week, or you can choose maybe 2 days of the week, 3 days of the week, or every second day, and so on. And the same idea applies for the starting time, like a certain time, and until when do you want this to be executed. And also monthly, you can choose every third month, or every third and 10th month, and so on and so on. But I think I'll just leave it as I will not repeat the schedule. I just want to show that you can do this one. So reading these blue parts here is that important. If the job doesn't finish before the scheduled end time, it will forcibly stop, meaning that if multiple schedules are configured, newer schedules are skipped until all running instances of the jobs are finished. Or you can set a run once after, and then this job runs after the job link has been completed. So it will just be on one time, or no schedule, and then back it up now, and that's it. So I think I'll just leave it no schedule and perform the backup now, and we will see the results until when it executes. Also interesting is that the version management. So we have configured version management for these jobs, for this job, and then also we have the enable version management. By enable version management, you can set by retaining by count or retain by age. Like you say retain by count is like how many versions, how many types, like you can have like 100, or age, or it means in days, so every 100 days versioning. Also you can set the smart versioning, and you have here smart versioning, hourly versions. So if you have a schedule of having 10 times per day, but you want only the hourly or 1 hourly version or daily versions, out of those 10 scheduled backups, you want to have 7 daily versions with a maximum of 3,650, or you can set different ones. You know, then with the version management, you can have different versions of the backup stored. So even if you change it, like there will be one version, after the change the second version and the third version, and this will be really fast because of the deduplication technology that is with the Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0. Okay, so I'll leave the disabled version management, and for example, to go before press the next step, I'll see that we have the version multi-version backup can greatly increase the file availability. So what do we mean by that is that from disaster recoveries, for example, it is free of damage caused by accidental alteration, damages, or loss of files. Because if you have different versions, like the first version and the second version has been destroyed, or you always have the opportunity to go back to the first version, and all the changes are saved. Almost all of the changes would be saved there. But you have first version, second version, and a third version, which has different blocks changed from what the previous version was. So to better understand that part, maybe I'll try to explain it here, which is the block level file. And I have it, all right. So the multi-versioning, and how does the backup needs and data reduction. So for example, multi-version backups can consume a lot of storage space after a long term of execution, and for that we can use QDedupe for cross files and cross versions data deduplication. What does it mean? That the first backup, as you see here, the first backup, it identifies the blocks that it keeps these blocks, the changed blocks, and then for the second one, if there is a small change, it will identify that block where the change has happened, and then it will change only the block, and so on for the third backup. Okay, this should be third backup, and it will change the changed blocks, and it will be really fast by the destination size and number of blocks. So it will enable multi-version backup, will be enabled when the QDedupe options are enabled at the same time. So enable multi-version backup will enable the QDedupe option at the same time. All right. So I will keep disable version management. Okay, so press next, and we set the rules for the backup job. Methods: backup all files, so no filters are applied on the source data, and the filters files for applying different backup strategies. So clicking here, you see you have the opportunity to set the file filter settings, and then specify the filter criteria, like you want to do it by the file size, and you can set the minimum of the file size that you want to do the backup. Say it should be with gigabytes. If you're doing backups, better do it large. And why not also could be some important text. Maximum up to this, so for you kind of set a range from minimum to maximum. And the date creation, you can start it in this date. You have this calendar here, you can start it from today, and then it can end from tomorrow. So this would be this filter criteria, what could be done, what kind of file types you want to back up. So it will get from the source folder, it will identify audios, photos, and videos, so say multimedia, and then it will retrieve these ones for the backup to the destination path. And then it will also say exclude. You have the opportunity of exclude all documents, or exclude all videos and backup everything else. It will do so. All right. And cancel, go back to backup all files. And don't forget here, as of the advanced settings, we have the QDedupe. This is the new feature integrated. Advanced backup service must be configured on the remote NAS to use this feature. So because this feature is linked with the version management, those settings cannot be changed after this job is creation. So you have to set it there. And QDedupe is very useful. All right. Also, you have the policies. Configure the job policy. You can use the client-side encryption, which by enabling it here, when the client-side encryption, you can set a password, and whenever it is asked, it will be asked to access it by writing the correct password and unlock it. As I said, you can set it here, or you can remove the deleted data from the cloud. Deleted local files will also be deleted from local storage. So I don't want to do this now. So if local data is deleted or removed from the job, it will also be removed from the cloud backup. So this can happen, and you can set it, the policy, you can set it here, and to have a peace of mind, you just do it one time and you don't have to worry with deleted data from the cloud. All right. So also the preserve ACL and extended attributes. You have delete source files and transmission. So you can delete the source files as they are successfully transmitted. Is available on one-time backup jobs only. So ignore all the symbolic links. You can ignore any symbolic link, or include hidden files and folders if you have in the source folder. It will include also those for a backup, because usually it doesn't without it, apparently. And then we see the options. We have job event rules. So we can set, by job event rules, we can set a maximum log size of 10 or any number that doesn't exceed the 1024 MBs. And then how to handle the errors. For example, this could be the timeout seconds and the skip file time limit. So for example, the files that fail to transmit are skipped. After exceeding this limit, a real-time job will enter a warning state and the scheduled job will stop. So makes sense, right? And concurrent file job processing limit. A job execution time warning threshold. So you set the time when you want to have a warning, like 1-2 minutes. Also restart after abnormal termination. You can set it here. Or cloud storage capacity usage threshold. So you can set it either in gigabyte, 200 gigabytes, or terabytes if you want to leave 2 terabytes or 1, depending on your choice. All right, so leave it as simple as it is. I think we went all through of those. Click next, and then we have confirm job settings. And then we still have the multimedia backup job name, local NAS to local NAS, and then we can see again the path is from multimedia folder. And then did we set a schedule? No. Once you set a schedule, you'll have the information here for the backup job if you want to have a schedule, and the path would be like this. Download backup 1, multimedia backup job, QDFF. This is the extension for the QDedupe file management and the block level file backup system. All right, create, and then in the meantime this will be running here. You have all the information by running the backup job, and backup job is completed, as there were not so many files in the folders, but in general it's quite fast. The first time always might take longer, but then after identifying the blocks, and if there are small changes, it will do the backup based on the blocks. So that will be, timing would be reduced by a lot. All right, so here you have all the information from local NAS to local NAS. You have the job success is green. Source folders from one folder, multimedia, file count to destination, and quota from 2358 gigabytes out of 41. And if it's a client-side encryption, for example, I left it disabled for now. All right. And also you have the opportunity to do the backup again or do a restore of the job. And you can simply click there to edit anything that you want, and then click this calculator. You can see the files and the size of the information to be backed up. Also, you can have access to report, kind of a log of seeing what has happened, last start time, last stopping time, if there was an elapsed time of 4 seconds, how many transferred of files, total files, if anything was skipped, no, total files 2, and average upload speed. You can see that the average upload speed is quite good. Also, you have the logs. You can check the system logs. Usually it's info, but if there is a warning or an error, you can read why it has happened here. All right. And this is how you do a local backup job. And maybe we can try to do another backup job from local NAS to the cloud. So let's do the multimedia again and try to back it up in a cloud service. So you have the filter. For example, if you are like, no, I don't want to scroll all the way down, and I need to look for a cloud service that I use always, like Google Drive, for example, or Amazon Drive, or High Drive, or any of the Google cloud service providers. You can do so, and then try. But once you click there, you can try to link it with your cloud account. All right, I'll click and link mine here. QNAP Hybrid Backup Sync wants to access your account. Allow, and as simple as that, you have the opportunity to create a storage space here for the cloud service, and the Google Drive 1 would be the name, or multimedia backup job. And the use capacity, information, and validating the SSL certificates for a more safer channel of data transfer. Once you do that, you have the multimedia backup job here, or you can add a new account, and then if you use another account and you have other options, also you can go back and edit anything. Say you want to edit here and remove the SSL certificates, which I don't recommend. And also check all the time the I for the path if you are doing the right job. Next, where do you want to use the multimedia backup? Which folder? My Drive, QNAP, or yeah, I'll just do QNAP here, edit, and as earlier as we did, you can set a job name, multimedia backup job, and set the description backup job for video purposes. Total folders 3, total files 3, total size 1.96 MB. These are the information that you want to have, and you can edit it as earlier shown, either from here the whole path, or just simply this for the local NAS, or the path for the cloud service. All right, next. As explained earlier, you can set the repeating schedule, run out once after, and no schedule, and just do the backup now. I'll do the backup now. Or versioning management, enable version management, and then smart versioning for hourly versions, maximum of 87,600, and so on. So yeah, this time I'll not do it, just show it there. Next, backup all files. So no filters are applied to source the data, or you can apply the filters as mentioned earlier, and it always use the QDedupe part, or use data compression, reduces the backup size and improves the transfer speed. Okay, for this applies for this one. And once you click there, you have the exclude file types. So you can separate them by comma, but make sure to write, for example, the doc files or HTML files to be excluded for this backup to the cloud. All right, and the file size threshold, you can set a set threshold for 4, and compression ratio from high to medium to low. So files are compressed using bzip. Remember that. After compression, files stored in the cloud are appended with a QNAP bz2 .qnap.bz2. So you have to be able to decompress them after using any decompression tool. All right, console policies. You can set the policy similarly for any backup job, and you can set the use encryption for the client side or use rate limits. So you can set either unlimited or a maximum up to a certain kilobyte per second, or megabytes per second. Operating time always on this time or a specific time. So I will not do that. And the options are similar as any other backup job. Next, please set a detailed configuration compression or the selected settings will be unchecked. Okay, so yeah, forgot to uncheck this one, use data compression. And yeah, you have all the summary here, estimated RPO, so recovery point objectives, estimated age of restored data, that was based on time, and the major incident RPO can only be estimated when using scheduled backups. Okay, create, and we are going to create a job here. Oh, okay, make sure your job with that name already exists. Specify another name, so we have to specify another name. Okay, back, and back again, scheduling. All right, back again. So a job with that name exists. We set a different name, multimedia backup job 1. Okay, so don't make the same mistake as I did. Okay, and this is loading multi backup job 1, and as we see, it is running. And similarly for the multimedia backup job that was for the local NAS to local NAS, now we have local NAS backup to cloud storage, cloud service provider, the Google Drive. And then you see the capacity here, 4.9 out of 30 gigabytes, and you have all the information. As this is running, it is doing the backup, it is uploading there, and you see it is a success. So this is it, for example, for the backup job. And now we can also, you have this information. Okay, now we can go and see how to do a restore job. A restore job is mainly retrieving something, even also maybe already backed up job. Say we did a backup and we want to restore it back to our NAS. From the cloud, we can use the restore, or from any other NAS we can restore some other files back to our NAS. It's retrievable. Okay, so let's go demo. And then we can see here again the same. We can create a restore job. A restore job we can do similarly here. We can do that from a remote NAS or from a local NAS. And we can do it from a cloud drive or from any local NAS that we did, for example from our local NAS, but let's do it from the Google Drive. You see, we do the restore, and we already have the multimedia backup job here. So we just select this one, and then we can retrieve or restore whatever we used to backup. For example, if we did a lot of versions of backup, automated versions, smart versions of the backup, and we want to retrieve it into a shared folder in our local NAS so other people can have access to it, this would be a good opportunity to do so. So restore 1, I will leave the name, maybe multimedia restore 1 would be the name for video purposes. And then you can see the source from backup job, or you have a destination in mind from okay, this was, or a destination in mind that you specific destination from the drive that you want to do that. which you can have it here, and then you can access the folders by yourself. For example, you see it has created the QDFF files in my drive. So backup 1, backup 2, it has the QDFF backups, or by QNAP, and then you can see the multimedia backup job QDFF1. So let's say we want to do the whole folder here, or already backed up job, if that would be better, like for you it will be more an automated job. So select the backup job, the one that we did, multimedia backup job. Previously we did the backup, so now we are doing the restore in the local NAS, and restore to original location or restore to a selected location. I'll go to a selected location, so maybe I will have to choose a location where I want to restore it, so not to have it restored in the same place. So I want to keep it elsewhere now. Alright, and then you can choose the opportunity to skip the deleted data here. So data marked as deleted will not be stored. No. Oh, it's specify a source. Okay, choose another. Here, add. Choose another destination. Say this time we can go to public. Leave it in public, and select a backup job. You can see here the backup job that we want there, and what was there, this timing and everything. So we choose the multimedia one. You can see also this timeline that you have here. If you have different versions, you can actually check. You will have this ballpoint here, and then you can go and check the versions of the backup when you did it. You can zoom in by time. If you have more often schedules, if you did scheduled backups and then you have hourly or daily, you might want to schedule zoom in the timeline or zoom out the timeline, depending on the jobs that how many you created yearly or so. Which one do you want to find exactly? Okay, select version, this one from today, and restore it to public path. Next, and then you have the schedule if you want to do the restore job like daily. So say for example in the backup job I set a backup job of every day data to be backed up to my cloud, and then from my cloud I want to take the restore the backed up version of it into another shared folder automatically every day or every second day. I can set it here, or just no schedule at all. So you can set the repeating schedule and so on. So no schedule for this time. And then next, you can set the policies. So use rate limits or not. If you click on it, you can set the unlimited or maximum. And also you have the options of error handling issues. So you have the timeout, like 1200 seconds. All right. Next, confirm job settings. So this would be the summary. We are going to perform the task now, and you'll see the multimedia backup job being restored to the local NAS after, say, we did different versions and we have different backup versions there in the cloud. We wanted to have it in the NAS. Restore. And while this is waiting, loading, we wait, and oh yeah, I didn't set to restore now, so it will tell you this one. If you forget to do that, it will have the information not started, and then you have the opportunity to do so here. Restore now, and the process will start running. See? And what is interesting here is that besides the edit part, the system logs or report that you want to have on the restore job, you can also open the restore folder from here. And also you can have the one folders, multimedia, quota, unlimited, and all the information on it. So while this is running, we wait, and yeah, it is a success. High five, and it's green. Yep, let's go, success. So we have now backup and restore jobs. We have multimedia backup job 1 and multimedia restore 1. All right, so we see how to do this, and it's actually very convenient to, if you are working with teams and different versions, especially for developers, if they are doing different versions of the files or the app, and they want to share with some team members, with some not, and with, that they are responsible for it, or if they want to have different versions saved in different paths and restore them. This would be one approach to do so. But let's click open restore folder here, and then you can see the public where we did the restore, and we can open the folder from the file station, which is the authentic file manager on the QTS, and then you can see that we have the multimedia folder restored from the cloud, which was backed up from the local NAS. Okay, samples, and then we have these 2 samples, and you have this thumbnail view from this file station. All right, so yep, we basically covered all the steps how to do these 2 jobs. So maybe now we can go and move to the next job on how to synchronize, collaborate, and share files and folders with 2 different devices. And how to do so? Let's do first one-way sync job, and then we can see that you have the opportunity to use a remote server. And for the sync job, you can use a local NAS or remote NAS, and you have the RR sync server, FTP server, or CIFS Samba server. So depending on what you want to use, you can choose either of them, or you can sync it with a cloud. The source can be a cloud to be synced with another NAS or another computer through these protocols. But let's take this a local NAS and try to sync it with our NAS. So we can sync like certain folder, and whatever changes in that folder can change in this folder. Or we can go always and sync, for example, downloads, and then change the job, or keep it here, and add a paired folder, or say maybe we can use a cloud service. So we go back and see how to do a sync job. So we will synchronize all the shared data and synchronize between different NAS devices, or we can do with cloud services. So with this one, you can actually collaborate with teams, share with friends and family, and access your data whenever and wherever. Yeah. So how to do so? We go and do the demo. We see we have 3 types of 2-way sync job, 1-way sync job, and active sync job. For the 2-way sync job, we can do it, for example, I will use a cloud service and NAS, or this NAS, select the destination storage space. I will use a cloud service as a destination storage space for the 2-way NAS, which means that I will have it here. I already have a backup job there, so I'll add a new account for this one. No, I actually have the account. Okay, and use a name, a different name. Okay, I already have account. And then two-way sync 1 from the NAS to the multimedia backup job. Say this was the name of the cloud service. And then you have the opportunity to check the conflict policy, rename local files, replace local files, rename remote files, replace remote files, or override. So I like to rename name local files if there is a conflict policy, so you don't lose everything. You will just have that number 1 in brackets. And yeah, add a paired folder. So I think I would add say a folder from homes or from download. I can use backup 1, this folder, and add a paired folder from my drive. Maybe Ubuntu new this folder, and then press next. And then set the job schedule. You have real-time synchronization. This is really good actually for the two-way, because it copies new, modified, or any renamed data from the source destination immediately to the other place where the changes are made. So whatever is like, it is two-way, it syncs two-way, so it does real-time. And press next, and I'll just keep backup all the files here. For the sync job, it will back up to synchronize everything, all the steps. It's a two-way, it goes both ways. Create, and then we have the two-way sync here. So we can sync it now, immediately. As this is running, we can see that it was, the source was download backup, and I'll go, in the meanwhile, I'll go to file station. Yep, download backup. This is running, and let's see, downloads backup, and then you see this is being synced with the cloud service, synchronizing there, and it's retrieving the same information as they were there. Okay, QSync demo, and you have all this information, and you see dedupe, Valdias, QNAP, Hybrid Backup Sync, Multimedia. These are now in download backup 1, and this was like empty before. So this is happening, the synchronization, and it is running. It is active, meaning that I can actually try to set a new folder here. Create folder, create, I don't know, Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0, QDedupe. All right, Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0 QDedupe, and this folder should also be in multimedia backup job of my Google Drive. All right, let me try drive.google, drive, Google, my drive, and then you can see it was web, it was multimedia, file that's my drive, Ubuntu, and then create Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0 QDedupe folder is created also in the cloud service as I created it from my NAS here, which is synced with it. Or I can try to say multimedia or QSearch file. I can have photos, maybe have this photo and send it there. Here, just drag and drop, copy and skip duplicate files, and then I have this one in download backup 1, and it should be here in no time. You see, it's synced. It's a two-way sync, so whatever happens there, it actually happens here. So this is really good actually, and running synchronized in two-way. Also, you can do a one-way sync job, meaning that it can happen only from one side and not from the other side, because from the two-way job, for example, I create a folder here, it will also change there, change to two-way sync. And once I create this one, this is also going to show here, and two-way sync. Download was backup, create hybrid backup sync, and then there's alright, upload files, upload this file, that's pedia. So in two-way it is multimedia backup. Alright, and that's pedia. So this is running and might need some more time. Two-way sync, waiting. Okay, so this is performing. In the two-way synchronization, we can see that this happens. Okay, right here. Upload complete, and then we can see the changes. Okay, alright, so my drive Ubuntu new MDV, Hybrid Backup Sync. Okay, so we can also go do the so we can do a one-way sync job similarly, and select the destination storage space. We can choose, say, maybe another NAS, and then for doing so for another NAS you need to know the IP address 8. Okay, I'll choose another one. Let me see, this NAS, and then you have to remember the password of the other NAS and port 8899, as I said earlier. You test the connection. If the connection is good, then we can simply move on and try to provide a one-way sync job from the NAS. So this can be called remote NAS 1, and it says the test connection success. We create one as it is, and then we can see that we have to wait. Okay, we wait. I'll come back here once this is finished. Okay, so from remote NAS we have this account, so we select this one now, and then we have the opportunity to choose a paired folder from the local NAS, where we choose another folder, say Q search file, or we have more here, photos. Alright, photos, Q search file, and we sync it with some folder in the other NAS, say backup and restore here. Alright, so one-way sync, number 1, next. Real-time synchronization, repeating schedule, or run after a time. So let's do this one time. synchronization, local NAS and remote NAS. Create, and we wait here until it's loaded and the sync job is going to start. So one-way sync job, and then we can sync it now. So this is running, and then whatever goes from here, the changes go from here to here, as you can see the direction. So we can check the path, QSearch file photos, and running synchronization with backup and restore. Alright, let's check backup and restore here. This NAS is kind of slow. Alright, so it's connecting, and we'll see the backup and restore. We have the QSearch file photos, backup and restore Z, and then wow, this is really fast actually, and it's uploading and syncing all the file photos from this NAS to the other NAS. Okay, so this was the one-way NAS, and for the two-way sync we had to wait a little bit for the other one. So I think the job has been completed. From the cloud drive, when we uploaded this one, we can see from the file station of the current NAS that from download here, backup, create hybrid backup sync, and yes, it's a two-way. So whatever I upload in the cloud, it goes here. Whatever I upload here, it also uploads in the cloud, since it's a two-way sync. But with the one-way sync is whatever happens here, it will go there, but whatever happens in the folder there, it will not come back here. Alright, so for example, go to the other NAS where I uploaded the photos, and now go QSearch file photos, and in this folder I want to create another folder, say new folder 438, and then once I create this one, since it's a one-way NAS, it will go here. Okay, it might, alright, create folder, new folder 438 is here, but if I delete it from here, this one, or create another one in this side of the sync, it will not happen the same way there. So we will not have the folder 439 there, but only in this part, only on this job of the synchronization. So here we won't have it. Okay, it's a one-way. For the two-way, it happens from both sides. We understand this part. And then we have the active sync job. With the active sync job, this stays active, and we see, for example, select destination storage space, another NAS, and then we have this one. Say from another folder, we have a QSearch file. What is here? Photos. All right. I did this one. Okay, public, multimedia. I used all of those. Alright. QSync demo, photos, and then use that one, local NAS, to another folder on the remote NAS. So we have, say, the remote NAS. We can use container this time, and then QSync demo photos with the container syncing, repeating schedule or not, or run once after, or no schedule and sync now. Backup all files, Policies, set the policies, use the rate limits and so on, remove additional files in destination folder, ignore sparse file, skip duplicate files, ignore symbol links, include hidden files and folders, compress files during transmission, this is really interesting, and replicate ACL. So go next, QSync demo container, create, and then we will have this active job sync. By active job sync is that this one stays quite working, and then we can see that it is kind of similar to the two-way sync, but it's on the run the whole time. So it syncs always, and then we can see that it was with a container station data I've been using there, but it's running, so we need time for that. Also two-way sync, and so I have 3 synchronization jobs running now, and then we have the two-way sync job that we explained, active sync and one-way sync. Okay, so this is how you set synchronization jobs and how you integrate with the NAS and with the cloud, either with the remote NAS, local NAS, or any other cloud service. So if you go here, you can see all the jobs that we created. We have active sync 1, one-way sync, two-way sync, multimedia restore. We did multimedia backup job and multimedia backup job 1. So this is still trying to integrate, so this will take some time, but you get the idea. And we saw the one-way and two-way sync jobs. Also for the services, you can simply see here that you can also do smart import, where you can use the USB one touch copy button, which is in the front of every NAS, and you can set the operating mode. So with the smart import, you can automatically import new media from connected devices after pressing the copy button. So whatever device is connected with it, once you press it, it will copy all the media from there, import the new media. And then you can check the settings here, and it is for multimedia services. I mean, all new media files stored on connected device are imported to the smart import destination stored within a smart import folder. Only new files are imported, means media files, videos already stored with a smart import. So it could be videos like MP3 files or VMA files or any other media file. And the other one is USB one touch copy button. Configure how the USB one touch copy button operates. And you can check the settings here and how to do the backup mode. So backup to the NAS or backup to connected USB driver that it is there. And you can set the directory, copy or synchronize it, or backup to the NAS as a copy or synchronize it with the connected device. And then you can see how it works, the NAS. So from the other side here with the one touch copy button, and then you can set the paired folders. Where do you want to set it in the NAS, in which folder you want to retrieve it, the information from the connected device. It can be a USB, or manually unmount USB drive, or enable the alarm buzzer. Also read here, to start the backup, press USB one touch copy button until the USB LED starts blinking, so for about 2 seconds. And to manually unmount the USB driver, press USB one touch copy button until the USB light shuts off, about 6 to 10 seconds. Also the notifications, you can set when a job fails, you'll receive a notification, or when a job finishes. Also, if you want to do more, configure the notification center here. You can also access it from our control panel. Okay, and you have the external storage drive, meaning that all connected devices are treated as a storage drive, and then you can apply it and just use one touch copy button. So storage, this is the external backup part, and then you see the storage pool now, and you see all the cloud servers and the other servers from the jobs that we created, and see what is left here. Okay, so yeah, this is it for today. This is Hybrid Backup Sync 3.0, which goes into file level, not which goes into block level data and file synchronization, backup, and retrieve or restore files from a path. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.